Coochie Coochie is the 7th episode of the Tortellis. This is directed by Charlotte Brown, and it's okay. There wasn't anything about this that I didn't like, but at the same time, I wouldn't exactly say I enjoyed it, and I think that's maybe because I'm not really aware of who one of the characters is, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. So there will be some spoilers, but I won't be going into a tremendous amount of detail. Nick is going to repair the TV set of Charo, and I'm not familiar with her work, so that doesn't really mean anything to me. So I didn't really find her scenes to be that funny or that interesting, but certainly if that, well, her character, but if her work does mean something to you, then I imagine you might enjoy it more than I did. But he goes to fix her TV set with Anthony, and then all we know is that he hasn't been home. And I will say the pacing is really great. It takes us quite a while to find out where exactly he was. Loretta obviously assumes that he's been staying with Charo, he's been sleeping with her, and she suddenly gives Nick the cold shoulder, and Nick doesn't want to admit what has been happening. And I do like the way we found out, because Loretta actually went to confront Charo, and when she was out of the room, Loretta was on her own, and Nick was about to come in, and Loretta hides herself. So Nick would think it's Charo and not her. And Nick then tells her, thinking it's the other person, exactly what happened, and that's when we find out where Nick had been. And I know I said spoilers, but I won't give it away completely anyway. And I thought it was an interesting way to explain things and to help push the narrative forward. And it wasn't too bad, and Nick's explanation made sense as well. I believe that it didn't feel far-fetched or unrealistic for the narrative, so I was pretty happy with that as well. But honestly, what I've explained is basically it. That's basically all that happens. Obviously, there are a few things here and there, but in general, that is the crux of the narrative. So it's not necessarily the most varied, it's not necessarily the most interesting, and because I'm personally unaware of Charo's work, that obviously didn't really mean anything to me either, but not the fault of the episode, purely down to my own experiences. So yes, I enjoyed bits of it, but in general, it's not my favourite episode. To be fair, the episode with Cliff and Norm will probably almost 100% guaranteed remain my favourite episode right throughout. But I thought it was fine. It's not bad at all. Definitely not a favourite. But in general, Coochie Coochie was not a bad episode of the Tortellis.